on this magical day of Christmas, we have a very magical short, which is La Luna, and basically this short is about how the shape of the moon is made.
Yeah. And we discussed about this briefly when we were discussing about Brave. And I remember our discussion about this, Aaron, about how we thought it was a very pretty short. I mean, we like said the same thing about Brave, in which it had beautiful animation, but the both of the stories were kind of lacking, especially with compared to the other Pixar shows that we're talking about with pairing up with better movies. But I think that we've changed our mind a bit since then.
Yeah. So the story goes is that a grandfather, his father, and his son are all in a boat, and they're out onto the sea, and they're basically bringing him up into the family business of obviously, sweeping up the stars and making the shape of the moon. But they both have their different ideas of how it should be done, and so the grandfather believes that he should be wearing his hat in a certain way and should be using a certain mop or should be using a certain doing a certain style, and the father disagrees and thinks he should be doing it his way, and because obviously son, and but this is a wonderful story of how he ends up not really taking, obviously, forging his own path and also forging his own ways on how it should be done, and also discovering new ideas as well of how to do things. Because so basically they go up onto the moon, and then like all these stars all fall onto it, and they have to sweep up the stars in order to basically make the shape that they want to make. So, but then they are confronted by a ginormous star. So I guess Kirby, was having a bad day, and so just throws something at them. But they really wonder what to do with it because it's so huge, and the son decides to put his hat backwards, get on top of the star, and give it a tap, and it actually shatters into more manageable stars. And so basically they let him lead the way in cleaning up like all the other ones, and he actually ends up making a rather wonderful crescent shape. And he gets props from his grandfather and his father for doing so.
Yeah. And I think that the short is like gorgeous. Like the lighting of the moon and the stars, everything just looks so beautiful. I mean, it definitely looks akin to like a picture book for a child, in which they would be very colorful. They would have a lot of presentations with moons and stars. And I think that the story is played off really well about a boy who's conflicted about who should he listen to. Should he listen to his father or should he listen to his grandfather? So I really like the conflict in this, and I do like the creativity about how the moon is able to get its shape. So yeah, I guess that we kind of underestimated this short when we were watching Brave, probably because of how utterly disappointed we were with Brave. So now that we watch it on its own merits, we actually like it more than we did a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, we had plenty to say on Brave, but I mean, in regards to, by the way, actually, there's a funny thing here because we're actually finishing off the PixMinis on this short, and we actually finished PixMix actually on Brave.
That's true, we did.
Well, what a coincidence. Like,
I know, right?
So, but it's a really nice one to actually leave off on, actually. And so, I mean, obviously, before we will do the other shorts at some other point, but I mean, in regards to these ones, I mean, these are like they're both on the Collection 1, Collection 2 on the DVDs that basically we watched throughout the time, and it was a wonderful chance to actually go from where Pixar's very humble beginnings started off with them saying, hey, you can take a computer and actually turn it into like this, amazing 3D, animation and, entertain a lot of kids with it. It was a very bold risk that Pixar made with these shorts, starting off, and then obviously to continue on and allowing other artists and other people to obviously make that time long passage to say, okay, we're going to make you do a 4 or 5 minute short, and we're going to put it like either the beginning or as an extra on our DVDs or Blu-rays, and it was. Every single one of them, I mean, obviously with the exception of a few, but I mean, with the ones that we've seen, I mean, it's just wonderful to actually look at the imaginations of a lot of people. So,
and they were able to kind of like revise the shorts, because if you remember back in cinema, you would watch a short right before you watch the feature film, and because of Pixar, they were able to bring it back. And just a few years ago, Disney started doing it, and they released such fantastic shorts, such as Paperman and Feast and various others. And Pixar is still doing shorts to this day, and so is Disney and various other studios. I mean, even DreamWorks has dabbled into it a few times. So,
Hmm.
yeah, we will definitely be discussing more about the Pixar shorts in the future, and I can't wait to see what the short is going to be alongside with Soul.
Yeah. So until then, we will move on to Soul, possibly later on today, and we will be joining you then for what I think will be a very soulful episode of PixMix. So,
All right, catch you later.
catch you later, guys. Thank you very much for joining us for PixMinis, and no doubt we'll be doing some more in the near distant future.
Right, take care.